Yeah, that's YouTube. Take your dick out.
Don't do that.
I didn't know this was going to be on public access.
Last night, we played Kingdom Death Monster for the third straight week. We kicked off the settlement of Zeus Lennox's second Lantern Year last night with an epic battle. Scott had a conflict, but Anne was able to sit in for him, so we had 8 players around the table. Monster is a game that's designed for 4 players, however. In a normal play, 4 survivors square off against 1 monster. So I decided to interpret the guidelines of the game's designers liberally, make a few on-the-fly adjustments, and put 2 monsters on the board so that all 8 of us could get in on the action. First, since a single White Lion's AI deck does not have enough AI cards to build a complete deck for 2 functional lions, I grabbed some laser printable fold and tear business cards, scanned and printed some really gnarly looking AI cards to use as the second lion's deck. And about half an hour before everybody showed up to play the game, I got out my hot glue gun and my safety scissors, and I fabricated us a second lion. Which ended up looking more like a Triceratops. The 2-lion showdown ended up taking a little bit over 3.5 hours to complete, and only about 15 minutes of that was spent on Jeff taking selfies of his mini and posting them to Instagram. In terms of injuries, fatalities, the trend of our last 2 battles was pretty well reversed last night. About halfway through the battle, my survivor, Janice, lost an arm to one of the White Lions. We had 2 casualties, Geezer Butler, who died of severe brain trauma.
I'm really bummed that I selected a name and figure that I feel like will be hard to top for me personally. So I'm really bummed that I got those out of the way before I knew what the fuck I was doing in the game. Am I allowed to curse?
And Esther, who suffered a rib-shattering chest wound.
I don't know, I mean, my death was kind of a surprise, but I think I was more sad that Geezer Butler died.
Ultimately, we learned a lot about teamwork.
I encourage everyone to be team players.
Do you think
Even when they waste their turns moving back and forth on adjacent squares because they are salty that they're not going to kill the lion. Just completely hypothetical.
And a little about strategy.
If I were to say anything, I would say I'm never using bone darts again.
And next week, the remaining survivors of Zeus Lennox will have to divvy up the spoils.
So are we a socialist society?
Who wasn't? Well, I wouldn't want to say socialist, but I think that going into the next battle, we all need to have a little bit of equal opportunity.
Would you say that we need to redistribute the wealth?
Maybe a little bit.
And since we lost Esther and Geezer to the 2 White Lions, we'll have to decide on a death principle. Personally, I'm pulling for cannibalism.
Being a team player is really what I really think being a team player is really what